that?
No, up, babe.
Like that?
Yeah.
Why do I look so much bigger than you are?
Because you are.
You need to get in. You need to get close. How about that?
You're still bigger than me. Okay. All right, I'm gonna hold it.
Okay, it's already started.
Okay.
Really dirty.
You look a little grungy.
Okay, the plan is we're going to take this piece of sheetrock and we're going to put it up there. As you see, we got, let's go under here. We've got 2 sheets up and hoping to get 2 more up this weekend. Gorgeous view out our new kitchen windows, as you can see. We got some snow. Which end do you want? Upper end or lower end?
The end that's easy. I want this part where I can hold on to this hole.
Go for it.
Barely get off the ground.
What are you doing? Set it down, babe.
Just gonna sit on the bed. It's going great.
All right, so this is going to go down like that. Hello, Internet. I was going to go over a little sheetrocking, gypboard, drywall tutorial a little bit. Everybody's pretty familiar with these little trays. You get your mix and you put it in the tray, and it's got a little metal edge. It's easy to scrape your thing off, but today we're going to use a hock. I made this hock probably, I don't know, 25 years ago at least. It's just a piece of plywood with some formica on it. But the nice thing about the hock is you have a lot more control, and you can put a lot more mud, and it doesn't get trapped in all the little corners. So what you want to do, what I'm doing, it's sort of like batter or dough. Once you pull it out of the can, you got to kind of fluff it up a little bit. And I just do that like this. You can see there's little air bubbles. You don't have to worry about getting all those air bubbles out. Okay, so far. Now we're going to go up here. And this is a nice thing also about a hock is, I mean, you can turn it upside down. So it's easy. Just get a little bit on your knife, and when you're first taping a joint like this, put the mud in parallel with the joint of the sheetrock, and just make sure it's about 4 inches wide, 3 inches wide. I can reach. It's okay if you put way too much on. That's what you want it to look like. Then you get not quite prepared.
No, babe, you're not supposed to get showing the messy house.
Okay, let's get back over here. Get back on task. You still filming?
Yeah.
Okay, a lot of people like that fiberglass tape because it sticks. So you just put it on, it sticks. Stuff is garbage. Doesn't work. Joints will break. With the paper tape, it's like a continuous bond through this whole paper. So by the time you put some, if you put some mud on it, there's no way it'll ever come apart. The mesh, no. Plus, if you sand through a little much on the mesh, see the mesh come out. If you sand out too much on the paper tape, don't notice it. So, here's the trick. A lot of people struggle with paper tape. The secret is wipe it down on both sides with a wet rag. Doesn't have to be super wet. Then put it in the center. Just touch it in a couple spots. Got that? Now, this is the most important part. Start in the middle and squeegee out, okay? Don't press very hard at all on the first pass. See how it wrinkled a little bit? Just pull it up. You can make that wrinkle go right out. You might want to start here because it's easier, but what that do is get a bunch of wrinkles in your tape. You got to start in the middle. I have to say, light pressure. And when you get to that point, you can't keep going because that's in the way. Turn your knife around and just go really gently. Oops. Real gently across the tape like that. Try not to get it all over the place. Just like that. Okay? Take a look at it. Make sure you don't see any wrinkles. There's a little bit of a wrinkle there. We'll take care of that. Here's a little wrinkle. You can kind of see them. Now just take a little bit of mud on your thing. Start back in the center. Try to spread it all the way out. Put a little bit more pressure. Try to keep your knife. Don't put a lot of pressure with your knife like this. Try to keep it a little straighter. Just like that. Perfect. Don't worry if it's not everywhere. You just want to make sure that tape is nicely submerged in this mud. Turn this around. It's a little tricky. Turn direction a little bit to get that out there. Same thing. Kind of a lot of pressure. A little bit more than you did on the first coat. You can kind of see that tape squeegeeing out a little bit. See how much mud we took out of there? A lot. Nice. Keep it straight. Uh-oh. A little bit of a wrinkle. Not making this look very easy. See that wrinkle right there? Stretch that out a little bit. Oh, come on. Oh, it's getting really finicky at the end here. Oh, look at that. Broke the paper. Just put a little extra right there. All right. That's it. You know how to do the nail holes. 2 directions on the nail holes. You get the idea. Phew. Thanks, babe. Okay, for those of you following along at home, we're back on this wall. Second coat now. Got the first coat, which is the tape coat. Just in case there's anybody out there who really doesn't know anything about sheetrock. On the long side of it, it's actually tapered. So I don't know if you can see that. But there's actually a shallow dip where these 2 sheets come together. So normally your second coat is just flushing out all those joints. I'm a little bit insane and I take it even 2 coats further, but right now the main objective is just to put 1 more coat on the seams and put another coat, second coat on all the nail heads. So let's get started on this. Switch to my bigger knife, and again, want to make sure that it's straight to the wall as you can get it. Don't want a lot like this, more like a 45-degree angle. Another little tip is when you're putting the second coat on, third coat, whatever, go 90 degrees to how you would put the previous coat on. So last time with this vertical coat, I smoothed the mud down this way. So if there's any grooves, they're going to be that way. So once you get the mud on, take your larger knife, just lightly skim it. Not really trying to take any mud off. You're really just trying to lightly skim over the top, take any extra off. That's really all there is to it. Very light skim coats. I really am pretty sick of doing sheetrock. All right, people. Here's the project at hand, and that is how are we going to finish the sheetrock along where the truss comes out. Most people would, sheetrock pretty tight to the wood, and then they'd probably caulk it and paint it. The really bad way to do it would be, put some wooden trim around the wood part to cover up that awful gap. I've never really liked the paint up to wood, so we're going to do it a little bit different. Here I have one started. You can see I'm just going to have a space, a reveal, an opening. This eventually I'll caulk inside there with some black caulk and then cut that tape off. Here you can see I've done this one too. That makes sense. So we're going to take this ugly thing, and turn it into this. And I'll show you how we're going to do it. All right, let's go up. Okay, I'm going to film again how we trim this out. I filmed it once, but I filmed it on time lapse. So not only is it really long and boring, but you can't hear any of my narration. So I'm going to try it again. This is what we're shooting for. A trimmed opening with about an 1/8 inch space there. So I'm going to show you how we're going to do that. Okay, the first step in trimming this out is we need to measure the framing. So I'm just going to take my tape measure. I'm going to put it at 10 inches right there on the top. Go down there. It's 7.5. I know this is 3 inches, although should be a 3 inches, inch and a half. It's actually more like 3 1/8. So 7.5. Gonna add an 1/8 of an inch. Each side gets an 1/8 of an inch. So 7.5 turns to 7 3/4. 3 1/8 now turns into 3 3/8. Follow me so far? Width, height. So now we're just gonna take our piece here. We're gonna measure 7 3/4. Slide this over 3 3/8. Then we're gonna go back to 7 3/4. Ooh, this piece might be long enough. And then this is gonna be, oh, it's like the perfect length. 3 3/8. Okay, got our marks. Now we just take our snips. Let's cut it to length first here. Really not the best. It's really pretty terrible. Okay, here's our marks. So we're just gonna cut on this side. Try to do it square, it doesn't really matter. Uh-oh, terrible cut there. Oh boy, it's gonna spite me. Now, you can just take this, go like this, bend it a little square. This one can't go too far, it's gotta go around here. So, here we have our piece, and you could probably see we have a problem here because this piece is 90 degrees, this is at an angle, so we're hitting in the back before we get our 1/8 of an inch. So, what we need to do there is just cut this side, maybe a little bit more than halfway. You don't want to cut it off, if you can help it. Cut that. Then, we can just take it like this and bend it. Turn this around here. Bend it like that. A little bit more. Keep this flat if we can. Now, put it around here. Now we should be able to go, yeah, all the way tight. See how that works? And then once we get in here, we can flip this top over. But, once again, that top may need to be folded because this is at an angle. So, yeah, now we just embed this in mud.
Go.
Hello, Internet. Some of my eagle-eyed subscribers noticed that the sheetrock doesn't go all the way down to the floor. And I don't know if I've explained that or not, but I'm doing things a little different. It's something I've never done before. I've only ever seen this maybe in a museum, never in a house. But our baseboards are going to be flush with the wall. Normally you'd put baseboard that would cover up the wall, and then you'd caulk that joint where the wall meets the baseboard, whatever it is. We're going to have flush baseboards, meaning I need to put a nice finished edge on this wall. And I'm going to do that using this, which is what I'm going to use everywhere, but it's a piece of angle metal embedded in tape. So I'm going to mud and tape this on, and that's going to be a nice, sharp, paintable, crisp finish on our sheetrock. And then once our wood floors, once they're in, you can put that baseboard, and there will be a little reveal between the finished wall and the baseboard. It'll be flush. There's just going to be like an 1/8 of an inch space there. So, first thing I had to do was straighten it this way. It's still a little far out here. I don't know if you can see. Come on up. Shoot down. Shoot down here. It's not great. It's pretty straight. So now the other thing I had to do, setting this level on a couple of blocks. We can back up. Got these blocks on the floor. So now I'm just gonna slip my level right underneath there. This cut is kind of jagged and uneven. That doesn't matter because we're just gonna put this finished trim right like that. Make sense?
Sure does.
All right. I had a different plan with this house, and one of the things that I wanted to do different was how I finish the sheetrock. Normally, people just put trim to cover raw edges of sheetrock. But this time I wanted to do something different. So I want to have a nice black reveal where nothing really touches. It's just a pocket or a hole, or it's just going to be black. So you know, it adds I guess a different dimension to it. But here I just glued on some painted black wooden pieces onto my corner tape. This is my drywall tape with the metal angle. And then I just glued on a little 1/8 inch black piece of wood. So now I can just take this up to the ceiling where this beam is. Right now it's an ugly edge of sheetrock. And I'm just going to be able to push that right up in there, mud it in place, and then I'll have a nice 1/8 inch reveal all along there. So that's going to be the treatment any place there's wood that meets plaster. Sometimes that ceiling went up fine. Sometimes we kind of struggled. Even at the end, we were cutting the sheets in half, which made it a lot easier. But this sheet, went up pretty smooth. It gave you that moment where you thought, God, I should do this for a living. Because I could be really good at it. Okay, so this is what we have here. It's paper tape, but then it's got really stiff. It's not plastic. Sometimes it's plastic, but it's really easy to fold, and it gives a nice crisp line. So we don't want to just use the paper tape that we've been using in other places because it gets a little wavy. This stuff is makes a nice corner. So we got to throw that over these collar ties. So let's do that. Okay, take two. All right, I identified the problem. I was throwing with my left hand, which isn't a good idea. So let's try this again. Okay, so now I'm going to take my narrow knife. It's probably like 3 inches in my mud, and I'm going to show you how to put that corner on. I'm not going to lie. I really am tired of doing sheetrock. Okay, so here you can see what's going on. It's a lot of work to get it. You have to do it all in one stretch. And the wood stove's on, so it's really kind of hot in here, so the mud was drying real fast. So, but yeah, it's a first good coat. Okay, here's the next step on this corner. You can see you got it nicely embedded in mud there, both top and bottom. So I'll show you the next step. Okay, I put that tape on with this 3-inch knife. Okay, so next step, get the 6-inch knife. I'm going to do the same direction. Go like this. Show you. So if we put this knife right here, see how it's touching on the corner and there's daylight? That's exactly what we want. So we're going to fill that up with mud. Then we're going to take 10-inch knife, 12-inch, 10-inch. We're going to go one more time like this. So you can see the goal is to get that nice and flat. And then lastly, I made this like a 30-inch knife. I just had some flashing and I sandwiched it between 2 pieces of plywood. But what the last step is to take this, put it in the corner like that, and then drag it down. That's the 4th step. So I'm sure professionals could do it a lot quicker, probably a lot better, but this is my process and this is how I do it. So next step. Okay. All right, so we got that sheet up And we kind of luck out because an 8-foot sheet comes to here. And so now we just have this little piece that we have to fish in there. There's a 8-foot sheet that goes to here. And then we put a little, never mind, I'll show you that later. But right now, we're just going to infill this.
I feel like you need to come over here.
You keep cranking it too much. Now go like that.
Okay,
Is that better?
that's better.
Hello, Internet. Is that what you like?
Yeah.
Okay. Hey, we're going to talk about the sheetrock. It's been going on for a long time. We started with doing the partition wall, on the shop side. So that was kind of the first thing that we did. We got most of the walls up, and then in the fall, we started tackling the ceiling.
Oh yeah.
So that was, our goal was 2 sheets a month. We'd hang 1 sheet, and then I would mud and tape it, and then we'd hang another sheet, and then mud and tape, so. But we did better than that. Pretty much got done hanging it sometime in the spring, right?
Yeah, I don't remember exactly when, but that was a big feat.
Yeah, it was a milestone.
Yeah.
And since we were mudding as we went, it was, once we did that, then it was pretty easy to move forward.
He was mudding.
She was sanding.
When was I? I didn't sand.
Yeah, you did.
Well, not until we moved out.
Yeah, so
but
then
last fall to spring, Mike did most of the work. I helped hold some things.
Carmen would help hang a sheet, and then it was up to me.
Yeah.
So then, when did you figure it out?
June 17th,
June
the week
17th.
Father's Day weekend. We gathered all of our stuff and moved on out.
Moved out, took everything out mostly. We left the sink.
We moved the fridge, we moved the stove, we moved all our clothes. We're sleeping in the camper.
Yep, been living in the camper for a month.
Because in order to, we had to sand the crap out of this place, and it was a dusty mess.
It was a little dusty mess. Basically finishing the sheetrock took 3 weeks. Well, it took a month, but that was also some painting.
So we sanded out everything from head to toe, and I did a lot of sanding.
Carmen did all the sanding of the stuff that she could reach.
Yeah, they didn't have to go up high. I mean, I got up on the ladder, but And then we painted the entire place, and Mike just finished literally today.
Put the second coat on the ceiling, so maybe we'll spin this thing around and you can check it out. But
it looks amazing in here.
Overall, what are your thoughts about this part of the project?
I'm glad it's over. Whew. But we can't move in yet.
Well, now we get to work on something fun. But the sheetrock.
Why can't we move in?
Because we got to do the. You want to tell them?
I asked you a question, remember?
Oh yeah.
Why can't we move in?
Because we got to do the floors.
Yeah, we have to put the floors in. That'll be nice.
But yeah,
Mike says we'll be done in a month. So I hope so.
Yeah, the sheetrock was a huge project. It was a lot of work. It looks amazing.
It looks amazing.
But it was
just
really a lot.
I had to get my groove, with the painting. So there's a few spots that we just want to show those, right?
You can't see those spots from your house, so
yeah,
it's not a big deal. No, I think it turned out really great. It was a lot of work, but man, Carmen picked a good color. We're doing just one color. Monochromatic, maybe
come on,
there'll be a little
people.
splash.
I don't think anybody will look at this and say, wow, that's a great color. It's just very neutral, minimal,
Kinda
modern.
Like us. We're neutral.
I mean,
modern.
I have to say, both of us have always had color in our places, so this is a switch.
It's a
Departure. But it suits the place.
Yeah.
Big windows, bright space. Looks good, right?
Yeah, here, let's see if you guys can see. See if I'll give you a little tour.
Up our noses.
Yeah, we can just walk around. Come on, let's walk.
I don't know if that's a nice angle.
You don't think it's a good angle?
Right. Whoa, look at that window.
Yeah.
Maybe you should flip it around and show everyone.
Flip around like this?
No, flip it around so that it's not looking at us.
Yeah.
Because nothing drives me more crazy than trying to watch a video and you can't actually see anything.
Okay.
Sorry,
let's
guys.
Turn it around.
All right, people. Here it is. Here's the side door. Do we call that the side door? Stove. Ooh, look at that wall. All the way up to the truss. Look at those tall ceilings. What a pain. Beautiful windows. Take a peek out there at the flower garden, the wildflowers. Wow, all painted, all of it. Every last bit. And then, oh no, that's not painted. That's just the kitchen though, because they'll just be cabinets and tile. So it's okay. And then here's this big tall wall. Why is the scaffolding still here? Oh no. Wow. And everything upstairs. Do you want to go upstairs?
Wow. Nah. Let's not go upstairs.
So pretty there.
Thanks, finally. Finally, she found the shot where I look pretty.
Do you want to say anything else? How are you feeling?
I'm glad it's done.
Good job, Mike.
Glad it's done. I feel like I may never do sheetrock again. I mean, I have to do the shop, but that doesn't have to look good.
And you feel really sad you'll never do sheetrock again?
I'm very sad. I hope one of my kids needs some help sheetrocking sometime in the future so that I feel like I can...
Like in the way future?
Yeah.
Not like tomorrow.
Feel like I can lend a hand and get back into it. But until then, I'm glad it's over. What about you? Whoa.
Oh.
What about you?
I'm never going to do sheetrocking again. I don't care what kid wants their house done. No,
Okay.
thank you.
You hear that, kids?
Sorry. I'll paint badly.
Badly.